Well, thanks for logging on. Meteorologist Brandon Lashbrook here of the Storm Tracker team with a quick check of the tropics for your Thursday. And we are slowly but surely making our way through Atlantic hurricane season. We've seen, of course, Francine now make landfall here in Louisiana, and we actually had Tropical Storm Gordon in the Atlantic. We still have its remnants still spinning about in the Atlantic with a low chance for some redevelopment there over the open waters. Next name, however, would be Helene, followed by Isaac and then Joyce as we work our way through the list. So right now, though, we are currently monitoring 3 areas of some potential development, 2 of them being over the open Atlantic, this right here being the remnants of Gordon, another low pressure just off to the west, and then an area to monitor as we go into next week in the northwestern Caribbean. So starting off with the 2 disturbances in the Atlantic, like I said a second ago, this right here is the remnants of what was once Tropical Storm Gordon, more so of a ghost of its former self right now. Still seeing some disorganized shower and some storm development with it. Again, some slow development possible with this system as it moves generally off to the north and then to the northeast as it remains over open waters. No issue for any land areas will that potential system be. Just to the west, however, we have another area of low pressure right in here. That also has a low chance of some development over the next 7 days as it slowly meanders over the open waters and then will eventually itself get pulled off to the north and northeast and should remain over open waters. However, closer to home, we do have an area to watch closely as we go into next week. This is a disturbance that may form later next week, so notice right now over the northwestern Caribbean, there's hardly any clouds over the area, so there's no disturbance currently present, but there are some indications that we could see an area of low pressure develop over this region as we go into early to mid-week of next week. So over the next 2 days, no chance of development, but over the next 7 days, a medium chance of development. Now, there is some high uncertainty on this potential system should it develop on where it may go and where it may not go and how strong it could possibly get. There have been solutions, possibilities from moving off to the north, maybe into the eastern Gulf of Mexico, maybe into the central Gulf of Mexico, or maybe even into the Bay of Campeche heading toward Mexico. So there is still high uncertainty with that potential system, and one reason why is the setup on how it might potentially develop due to the Central American gyre. This is basically a big, large area of some broad lower pressure over Central America, and what that does is that increases rising motion for more widespread thunderstorms, and within this main broad counterclockwise circulation, we can sometimes get smaller areas of low pressure to develop and a little bit smaller areas of counterclockwise flow to form. So notice these low pressure center icons here anywhere from the Asian Pacific into the southern Gulf of Mexico or into the Caribbean, and so there is some uncertainty on where a low might form. So what we do know now, though, is that some tropical development is possible sometime next week. However, there is high uncertainty on the specifics for any track or any potential intensity. It's way too early to know those fine details at this moment. The picture should become a little bit more clear as we go through the weekend heading toward next week as well. So right now, there is no immediate tropical concern for Louisiana. However, though, areas here in Louisiana and along the Gulf Coast as a general should continue to keep a close eye on the forecast and continue to monitor it as we go through this weekend heading toward next week right now. So, of course, we will always keep you up to date on all things tropics as we go into this next week. Watch for a potential area of some development. Of course, we will let you know if anything does develop, of course, on air and online at brproud.com. So, for the Storm Tracker team, I'm meteorologist Brandon Lashbrook.